my name's Mary Nell Hawk. My first name's Mary Nell, my last name's Hawk. And I moved to a Cooper Square apartment on East 3rd Street between Bowery and 2nd Avenue circa 1976. And first learned about the food co-op. So I knew Fran from the food co-op, and actually I lived at 59 East 3rd Street. I soon, because of my other friendship with Sharon Matlin, found out about Cooper Square, and to save like $150 a month, which was considerable to me at that time, because I was in the arts, I moved to Cooper Square. My parents were in shock. My brother was in shock because the Bowery across the street was in shelter and all of that. But even in those days, there was an amazing sense of community. The super of the building next door was able to secure, Gail was able to secure an unused apartment. We all had bike rooms, so we could share bicycle storage. And I was involved in the arts, so eventually, fast forward, 1976, 77, there was something on the drawing boards that was really special about what it was called Site 1, which was Stanton and Christie, 80 or 30 apartments that were going up. And it was really hard to get. And in this economic climate that we have now, it's almost impossible to understand the fact that developer was stalling for years and years because interest rates were too high. So everything was like approved by everybody for all this housing, and it was years before it was finally built because of interest rates. So, I don't know what kind of lesson is there, but it was an interesting thing, and we were all sort of waiting and moving and trying to figure out how to make that work, and also how to incorporate artworks into the housing. So that was the thing that was very interesting to me. And I was on a subcommittee with Fran and Walter and other people, and Paul, and we did get that, but it looked like they would never get installed because the housing would never get built. Well, in 1985, the housing opened. The artworks were basically in place. Some gorgeous work that's still there. And I have to be very honest, from day one, it was and is a problematic building. And in my opinion, it was because of the deficiencies in the Section 8 program as it existed now and as it still existed. The owners of the building were getting market rent, but they were giving slum service, and still are. I have moved out. I was involved in a different Cooper Square project and took advantage of that. But I've stayed a little bit close to Debbie, Alicia, and Cheryl, who are involved still to this day on the Tenants Association there. They're having a terrible time, and they've gotten some funding to improve the circumstances down there. But as has happened in the past with Cooper Square, Super Square, that was a good one. What's happened in the past is that when people work so hard to get money, and then when the funds come in, all of a sudden people come out of the woodwork who are challenging and who are hostile towards the people that are trying to do the right thing, et cetera. So, I guess I'm here to tell my story in a nutshell, but also to implore everybody who's here to really get on the bandwagon to continue to figure that out, because there's so many apartments there, and people there are scared also to come forward, and that's a big problem because a lot of people earn too much, so it puts people into the underground economy, and that creates a whole lot of problems. So anyway, that's my story, that's my hope. I could talk a little bit more about, getting that building going, but that was important.